Hey guys, welcome to Finish Awesome Friday. So this week is the second part, the continuation from last week really, in terms of the question of why am I not losing weight despite X, Y, Z. Okay, so last week we attacked calorie density and basically what that is and why that is important to your goals in terms of losing or gaining weight. I mean, you know, if you want to change your body shape, if you want to grow muscle or you want to lose fat or you want to get stronger, calorie density becomes very important in those realms. You know, if you're trying to put on weight and you're trying to pack on calories, then actually the calorie density of your food can then become, you know, it can almost be the opposite of what it is. But when you're trying to lose weight, obviously it's important that the amount of calories you have per portion of food that you eat be in the right direction. So the two examples I used, obviously I used like a standard lunch time sort of deal that you can get somewhere, a packet of crisps, a sandwich and a fizzy drink. Okay, that had over like 700 calories in, and then a bit of chicken, vegetables and sweet potato had about 300 odd calories in. So despite having a lot more food to eat and a lot more nutritious food, obviously the calories are completely different. So if your goal is to change the way you look, then obviously you want to be going more towards the second option, the more nutritionally dense rather than the more calorie dense. Okay, so this week we're going to look at the other end of the spectrum, when people are actually lowering their calories quite significantly but are not seeing the results they want. Okay, that does happen quite a lot as well. So you may find that you are eating the right foods, you're cutting out breads and you're cutting out all the things that you love, chocolate and everything else, and you're still not getting those results that you want, because the other aspect actually that's quite important, actually, you know, it builds together with the other one, is what we're about to discuss today, which is your metabolism. Okay, your metabolism is obviously the rate in which you're burning calories. Okay, so along with calorie density, which is important in terms of your nutrition and how you look at nutrition and how you structure your diet, metabolism is then more the training side of things, more the actual how much effort you're putting out to build up to change those calories. Okay, so the question why you may not be losing fat despite low calories is then what we'll discuss today. So what we want to be looking into is you want to be raising your activity levels. Okay, so when you decide that you've had enough of your body shape and you want to lose weight, or you want to get fitter, you want to run a marathon, you want to do any particular goal that you set yourself to prove to the point that you are succeeding in your fitness goals, you need to increase your activity level to actually achieve that goal. Okay, and in fact what you will have to look at is not just the training you do, but actually just your day-to-day living. Okay, there's two particular areas of activity you need to increase. Okay, NEAT, which is to do with lifestyle. This is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's what NEAT stands for, but that basically means anything that's not exercise. So if you think of it simply as doing a 10-minute walk every day, or deciding not to drive your children to school but instead walk from school, or you know, instead of driving to the shop you walk to the shop, you know, just silly things that you don't think are important, but actually when you add them all up together make a massive difference to how your non-exercise activity levels, your non-exercise metabolism is through the day. Okay, so the more you do, obviously the higher that NEAT will be, and that means you're burning calories more through the day. Okay, so just simple little additions to your day. It doesn't have to be anything ridiculous or extravagant. It's just stuff that you do day to day that will then add up along with the other stuff you do. Now, the training side, what you want to be looking at is your EPOC. Okay, EPOC, E-P-O-C, okay, is exercise post-oxygen consumption. So basically, when you exercise, there's a period after you exercise where your body obviously has been raised up to its highest levels, your heart rate goes up, and basically through that recovery process, your EPOC, which is what they call it, will slowly get back down to normal. You'll lower your metabolism rate and everything will come back down to a standard level. The idea though, of what a lot of people do is they think, you know, I'll go for runs, you know, I'll do this, you know, couch to 5K or something else like that, which is great, it's something to do, but time consuming it can become. That sounded a lot like Yoda, I do apologise, but it can obviously become quite time consuming. If you're going to build up to something like a marathon or something else, then that's hours and hours a week that you have to put into that training to get an effect. And the reason it's not as effective as, say, something like high intensity training, which is what a lot of people you know, succumb to when you're talking about fat burning, you're talking about HIIT training and all the rest of it, but all that literally means is you want to raise the intensity of your training to a point at which it gets the heart rate up to its highest, okay, and builds up a high level of EPOC. Because if you think of it in a simple line graph, if you were to take a slow and steady run, okay, it basically will build up your metabolism, everything's going firing, and then it will sort of peter off until a point, and then when you've finished, it will then come back down and it'll be done. Okay, so though there is a rise there, it's not much of a rise, and it doesn't take too long for that levels to come back down to normal. When you think of high intensity efforts, okay, that's going to smash it. That's going to put you right up there in terms of your metabolic rate rising, and that epoch effect takes a lot longer, obviously, to get back down to normal levels. Okay, so where it raises up at the top, where it's going higher, obviously when it's coming back down, you know, you've got a lot longer of that process. Sorry, I'm using my hands quite a lot here, but that's basically the idea. So you can see, just simply raising your metabolism up as high as you can within training, raising those activity levels, doing higher intensity efforts and things that are going to be working in the anaerobic threshold, which we'll talk about. That's that sort of 20 to 40 second marker, or 8 to 12 reps in terms of weighted exercises for multiple bouts. That's going to raise the metabolism higher, raise that epoch, and obviously along with your higher activity levels are going to mean your higher metabolism, which means then you will burn more calories per day. To illustrate that into a graph, this is what I'm talking about in terms of when people go to me that they're dieting but they're not losing weight. So what normally happens is people will reduce their calories and start eating sensible calories every day, and maybe even start tracking their calories. And they get to say, 1,500 calories or whatever MyFitnessPal tells them to use, and they're not losing any weight. But if you're not very active, then your basic metabolic rate, the amount of calories, your total daily energy expenditure, or however you mark it, the amount of calories you use in a day could be fairly low. So if you're burning at 1,100 calories and you're eating 1,500 calories, then obviously you're going to put weight on. So obviously to get down to there, you're going to have to basically eat less and less food and keep going down as you find it. Might even be even lower than that. I mean, you've got to think, if you're not doing anything, then there's not really many calories your body needs to burn off day to day, just the amount of calories it needs just to survive. Okay, and it could be a lot less than the daily recommended allowance that you're given via most food products and everything else. So that is the main thing from there. So obviously with a moderate level of activity, if you increase, if you were to say, start walking to the shop instead of driving there or whatever, and then did a couple of training sessions a week, maybe you'll start boosting up your calories to around 1,500, and at that stage you'll then, you can eat more calories. Obviously you can eat 1,500 calories and then get into a calorie deficit from there by just boosting up your calories a little bit more. If you really go for it and you really hike it up, then your calories increase to such a point where actually 1,500 calories is a massive calorie deficit, and this is, this could be the same person that literally could jump from one end to the other here, So obviously to get in a calorie deficit, this person here at the very highest energy level could eat up to sort of 1,800 calories a day and still lose weight. Whereas the person that doesn't do much has to then drop right down to 1,000, 1,100, whatever it might be, whatever the number we pluck out of our rear ends is. And that is a completely different end of the scale, you see. So the more work you can do, the more high intensity efforts you can put through, the higher you can raise that metabolism, the more calories you can actually eat to get into a calorie deficit and still feel like you're not struggling or doing too much starvation, okay? The goal is to get the metabolism up, okay, so that you can eat more food but still lose weight, okay? That's what we want to be trying to do. So training more frequently, training at higher intensity, doing all these sort of things is going to be beneficial to getting that metabolism up. I can't speak anymore. And obviously giving you the effect that you want. So that's as simple as it is. Tracking your calories allows you to see what sort of calorie densities you're putting through your daily diet. It also allows you to track how many calories you take in, and then if you weigh yourself simply on the scales and look at yourself in the mirror or take pictures, you get a visual and physical representation of what is happening. And if you want to lose fat, then obviously that means you want to lose weight, okay? Inevitably, that's what you have to try and do to lose that fat, okay? If you train with weights and you train at higher intensity, your body should try and retain as much muscle as possible whilst dumping any excess weight that it doesn't need. That's the general idea of the human body, what it wants to do. So, if you can work at a higher metabolic rate, you can eat more calories, which means you think that everything's great because you can eat more, but still drop weight compared to a person who does less activity than you. Okay guys, so that's where they link and that's how it operates. So I hope you enjoy that. If you need any more questions answered, obviously just throw them in at the bottom of this, send me an email or speak to me when you see me in the club. But hopefully this will explain to you just a sense of what it might take for you to then start losing more weight. Some people get to a point where they lose enough weight and then it tails off or they can't lose any more weight, but they're already doing fairly low calories. So the next step is really to raise that metabolic rate back up and get themselves into a position where actually they can eat a bit more and then start dropping those calories again, okay? This is all going to be explained in the Efficient Nutrition System and what I do and how I'm trying to create something that's going to be beneficial to everyone to use to basically live their life as normal without having to stress about diet as much as you do on other sort of dietary systems and other dietary advice from books and everything else from there. So So if you like the idea of this and you are interested, get in touch and we can help you out, guys. Hope you found it useful. Have a great weekend. Just be awesome, guys. I'll catch you later.